welcome to RasslinRantsandReviews, and this is episode 28. And as always, I'm your host, Big Mike. And during this episode, I think I told you in the last episode I was going to talk about the U.S. and the Intercontinental titles. But I think I'm going to speak about all the titles. And let you know my opinion on what they all stand for, if they stand for anything anymore. So let's start at the bottom of the barrel. I hate to steal that from you, kind of spiffy, but that's where we're going to start, at the bottom of the barrel. And for all of you that don't know what I'm talking about, but check it out. There's a guy out there I have a subscriber to. His name is kind of spiffy. He has a show called The Bottom of the Barrel. He knows what he's talking about. He didn't ask me for this plug, and I don't know what he thinks about me giving it to him. He'll probably like it. But anyways, he'll like it. Because it's a good shit. If you haven't seen it, he's good at what he does. But anyways, back to the bottom of the barrel of the titles. At the bottom of the barrel, we have the Divas. The Divas title. Do I like the fact that it's called the Divas title? No. Do I like the fact that it's a butterfly? No. Do I like the fact that Eve has it? Yeah. No. I don't know. I think she has come a long ways in her wrestling ability, but I don't think she deserves it. If anybody on the Raw brand deserves it, and I'm going to say this out of, because it's my opinion, but I don't necessarily like her, Gail Kim deserves it. She definitely paid her dues. She had it when she first was on Raw, like, you know, when she first debuted 5 years ago or 6 years ago, whatever it was, before she went to TNA. She won it on her first night. I know she went to TNA, so maybe that's why she's in the doghouse, but she does deserve it. But I don't like her. I think she's overrated. If she was in TNA, I don't think she would still be overrated, but I think she's a better fit there, or was. But she's the one who deserves it on the Raw brand. Who do I think really deserves the Diva title? Kelly. Because just like Eve and Layla's come a long ways too, especially being with Lay Cool. But Kelly's in-ring work, I think, has come so far. You know, I used to think she was the laughing stock. I think we all did. But you know what? You got to agree with me. Look at her stuff. She's not amazing. She's definitely not, you know, I don't know. She's not amazing. She's not Mickie James, you know, or anything like that. But she's come a long ways, and I think she deserves it. And could have a good feud again with Layla and Michelle McCool, as she's already had. Or she could even feud with Maurice on Raw or whatever. I think that'd be a good feud as well. And because right now I think it's very complacent, the title. They don't know what they're doing with it. They don't know why it's even there. So if they gave it to Kelly, there could be some good feuds, because there's a lot of reason, you know, for these other girls or heel girls to come after her, because Kelly's looks, you know, her, I don't know, her whole super uber baby face, she'd have all kinds of people gunning for her, even Kong when she just decides to debut, and I think that'll be after WrestleMania. So I think that could make the Divas title a little bit better, a little more reputable, other than just being complacent and just giving it to whoever deserves it. If they would have kept it on Natty or Natalya and had some more feuds, decent feuds with her, it'd still be in a better shape than what it's in right now. But I don't think it should be the Divas title. I think it should still be the women's title. The U.S. title with Sheamus winning it, I think, is a good thing. It's going to go hand in hand kind of with the IC title with Wade Barrett winning it, because these two were up here at one time. Sure, they weren't John Cena or Randy Orton or Triple H, but they were up here. They were champions, or almost champions, at one point. Sheamus was over. Barrett was feuding with the champions. And then all of a sudden he took it away and they were nothing. But now they're Intercontinental champions. And with having that main event status before, I think that allows them to have main event statuses with the Intercontinental title. It might bring some better feuds, just like I was mentioning with the Divas title. Sheamus and John Morrison could go for a round 2 feud. Wade Barrett just being in the core over on SmackDown could feud with everybody. Kane, Big Show, Christian, whoever, and have decent feuds. Because if you look at both these titles, for a long time they haven't meant nothing. Especially the IC title, for instance. Look at it. Kofi had it, and he was on like an 8-week or 10-week losing streak. And he's the champion, or was the champion. Same with Dan O'Brien. It was just a placeholder because The Miz needed to lose it so he could go on to the World or WWE Championship. Before The Miz had it, I think Kofi had it too, and he didn't have nothing to do with it. It was just there. So with these two guys especially being heels, the fans aren't going to want to see them being with the titles, but I think that could lead some better feuds. Look at the feuds of the IC title back in the day. The IC title, you had The Rock versus Stone Cold. You had Triple H versus The Rock. You had Jericho. Back in the Attitude Era, you had that title meant a lot. It was not just there to be a placeholder. It was not just there to make a mid-card guy seem that much better. Same with the U.S. titles the same way. Back when Benoit had it, and beforehand, it actually meant something. Even when Cena had it, when it was the spinner U.S. title, it was a little bit better. It meant something. There was more prestige to it. It was actually being fought for, and was in some high spots on pay-per-views, etc. So I think with these guys having it, it could be good. The tags, they need to make a tag division instead of just making makeshift tag teams. The core having it along with the IC title in their stable could mean for good things. They got to stop fighting Kozlov and Santino. You got the Usos. Doesn't mean you have to turn them face, but make them look good. They came in to fight the Hart Dynasty and looked like bags of shit. He brought in a tag team that could be a reputable tag team and fight for these titles, and he made them look like shit. Put the Hart Dynasty back together. Make tag teams so they look, good. Put Ryder and Hawkins back together. You should never got rid of Vance Archer. That would have been they would have been a good tag team, Hawkins and Archer. Who else could you put together? I don't know. Whoever. You could do it and just make them look like they're solid tag teams. And have a tag team division. That's what you need. Look at the WWE titles. I don't even want to talk about them because they're just there. They're just there to be in the main event. WWE title, the world title. They switch hands too often. There's no prestige anymore. Once a month they change hands, or every other month. 4 or 5 times, 6 times a year they're changing hands. I don't know. And the spinner belt or the whatever, the WWE title needs to be changed to look like something good. I feel like the one I showed yesterday. The prize possessions, change it up. Let the Miz keep it after WrestleMania. Don't let John Cena win like you're gonna. Let him keep it. Let the feud go on. Let there be some meaning behind these titles. I looked back at a Raw magazine or WWE magazine a few months ago, and they had the 100 times the title changed hands. Or on the first 50, the first 50 times, or 100 different champions or something like that, whatever it was. But the first 50, it changed hands like 35 times. And I know that still sounds like a lot, but there was a lot of champions in there that had it for a couple years at a time. The latest 50, on the flip side, too often. Every other month, every few months. So that means in the last 50, that means 65. So the ratio is not good. I really don't know. There needs to be longevity, and I think that's what makes a good champion, and what makes your title look that much stronger. And if they had to bring a title back, bring the Cruiserweight title back. You got people like Yoshitatsu, you could have Sin Cara, Rey Mysterio, Chavo, Primo. You can have a reputable Cruiserweight division. And with TNA dropping the ball in the X division, or maybe they're trying to bring it back, I don't know. But that would be something else for fans to look at. You know, like, wow, look at this division. They're sick. They're off the hook. You know, you could have a division again, and it would work. Just look at the Attitude Era, for instance. You didn't. Well, you had the light. I think you had the Cruiserweight in there a little bit, but or more so not till the Invasion angle. But anyways, look at the Attitude Era. Everybody from Curtain Jerker to Main Eventer had a storyline. And I think you can do that if you give some more prestige and honor back to the titles and decent storylines. Crash Holly. People remember Crash Holly, who Crash Holly is after 10 years. Because he had a storyline. You know, not only was he a super heavyweight, but he's hardcore champion, etc., etc. You had Right to Censor. Who's Right to Censor? You know? Why should I remember them 10 years later? Everybody had a spot. You know? Now people in their spots, they're so complacent. I don't know. It's not the same. You know, in 10 years, are you going to remember Evan Bourne or Matt Sydal, whatever? You may if you're a hardcore fan, or if you don't really know who he was before he was Evan Bourne. You may. But are you going to remember MVP? Are you going to remember, I don't know. Are you going to remember these people in 10 years? Probably not, because there was nothing major done like there was in the Attitude Era. Monday Night Raw, Raw's War. Everybody had an angle, a story to tell. Maybe it wasn't major, but you remember it. You know, The Godfather, Rikishi, Too Cool, whatever. You remember. That's all there is to it. So that's my outlook and my opinions on the titles. Let me know yours. Excuse me. Let me know what titles or what people you think should hold certain titles. Do you think WWE is turning around with having Sheamus and Wade Barrett hold these mid-card titles? Do you think there will be some good feuds? Do you think it'll bring back some honor and prestige to these titles? Let me know what you think. Are they going to stay the same? Leave a comment, subscribe, like or dislike, send me an email that you'll see at the end. And now at the beginning, if you've noticed a new intro to Wrestling Rants and Reviews, you can see the email there as well. And as always, I'm Big Mike for Wrestling Rants and Reviews.